Hi, everybody. How you doing? Can you guys see over there? Okay, you don't have a big fat podium in the way? If you do, just move over. I think this is a friendly group over here. And if it's okay with you, with the size of this group, would you mind if I just came down on the floor? It feels a little weird to me to be up here. Okay. I would prefer that. I think with a group this size, we can just kind of relax and be ourselves, can we not? Okay, and the podium feels a little overly formal to me, and I'd rather laundry, I guess, right? I'll stay over here. So, everybody can hear me, everybody can see the screen. You guys are good over there in the corner? Cool. Jonathan mentioned that all the slides that you're going to see here are going to be available to you in PowerPoint. You're going to get every single slide that you see here, so there's no need for you to take any notes. Everything I've got, you're going to get. So you can just kick back and drink your Budweiser there, and you're good, right? Okay. So can we just relax and be ourselves, and if I'm covering something and you have a question, will you just ask? And I'm going to leave some time at the end for Q&A, and I'm also around all day today, all night tonight, and all day tomorrow, too. So if you have a question and you don't feel like asking it here, just find me at the cocktail thing. I'll be hobnobbing with you, and we can just, spend some time together, okay? All right, so I'm just going to get rolling here. You came to this session on how to sell more boats to women. And I want to start by thanking you for coming to this session, because the fact that you are here tells me something about you. And what it tells me is that you're smart, forward-thinking people who are paying attention to your business and the trends that you see. Because there's other good sessions that are going on right now, and when I looked as a speaker at the lineup that I'm up against, if you will, the other topics, I feel sorry for you, because they're all good topics, and you can only be in one place at a time, and you chose this. I personally think you made the right choice, but obviously you do too. So this tells me that this is a priority for you. Because I see a few women in the audience here. Hello, sisters. Okay, yes. I see my sisters here, but most of this audience is men, so I'm not the least bit surprised that I would have a mostly male audience, because I know that we women are like these enigma creatures for you. You're like, I can't figure you out, right? I'm going to hopefully help you figure this out. And again, in terms of questions or anything like that, let us be in the safe zone. There's no right or wrong question. There's no dumb questions. There's just, this is marketing, this is business. So ask the things that are on your minds and hearts, and we'll all benefit from that. So, the reason that this is an important topic, and not just for the boating and marine business, I just did a similar presentation. I obviously made it for fitness or whatever for Nike. And Nike wanted to know, how do you sell more fitness opportunities to more women, and therefore more shoes and apparel and all that kind of stuff. Everybody wants to know about this. This is a hot topic, and that is because of what we call the she-economy. The she-economy is big. Women spend $5 trillion annually on consumer goods. And as a group, that means that women are larger than the economy of Japan. So women in the U.S. are larger as an economy than the entire country of Japan. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you. Now, women with children spend $3 trillion annually. And the reason I'm calling out children here is that I'm going to get into this in just a moment, but women who are moms are different from women who are not moms. And women who are moms, a big, big part of what motivates them to buy anything is family experiences and the memories that they have as a family. So, women, speaking of families, women do buy for their entire families, and they influence what their friends and neighbors buy as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in depth, but women influence each other tremendously day in and day out. Women rely on each other to get the straight scoop. We somehow think our sisters are not going to lie to us, and we share information freely with our friends and our neighbors, and frankly, even women we don't know via social media. But women are not easy to understand. And, of course, there's comedians who make their entire living riffing off of this, right? Like, oh my gosh, if I could only understand my wife or, my girlfriend or something like that. There's entire comedy routines formed around this, but we really are a complex and moving target. Because to sell to women, you first have to understand them. You have to be able to get in front of them. You have to cultivate a relationship with them. We don't want a transaction, people. We want a relationship. If you get a relationship, you will get the transaction. It's that simple. We do business with people we like. And women or men are different. This is okay to say. The way that you sell to men is going to be very, very different than the way you sell to women. And that's okay. We are different creatures. We're motivated by different things. Men are more cerebral. Women are more emotional. Okay? And that is neither good or bad or right or wrong. It just is. And I want to share with you a couple of consumer insights to really demonstrate how different men and women are. And it's not just about what motivates us in terms of, emotional versus cerebral and things like that. It's literally about how we process information. Women are more verbal. We literally use something like 20,000 more words a day than men. So, a couple of consumer insights I want to share with you with women. Women value choices, and I don't just mean a few choices, I mean expansive choices. Have you ever, as a guy with your significant other, if she's a woman, had her bring home the Sherwin-Williams paint fan, right? And she brings home 80,000 shades of white, okay? And she goes, which one do you like? Do you want the ivory or the eggshell or the dove or the this or the that? And you're like, oh my God, just pick one, right? They're all the same to you, but they're not the same to her. They look very different to her. She can see every single one of those options. Women like seeing all the options. We actually don't feel overwhelmed. You feel overwhelmed, and that's why you're like, whatever, whatever, just pick one, right? Happy wife, happy life, right? Plan a wedding. Planning a wedding. Oh my God, great example. Planning a wedding. She can go on and on and on and on and on in tremendous detail, right? Dresses, flowers, you name it, whatever. And the guy's just like, looks good.
Top 3. Bring it back to me. I'll choose from that.
Can you say that again?
Go look at whatever you want, choose your top 3, bring it back to me.
Okay, you get $1 million for saying that. Okay, you're on my next slide. Seriously, what's your name? Rob. Rob's brilliant. Okay, either that or he took this class before somewhere else. Were you at my Nike conference? Called my house and told my wife that, or my girlfriend that. All right, but women do feel, you're going to see why I'm saying this about Rob. Women do feel empowered with choices and information. We don't feel overwhelmed when we're given a lot of information. It does the opposite for us. We're like, okay, now I know. I'm good. I feel empowered, okay? So, for example, we can look at 176 different colors of blouses and we can be like, I'll take the tangerine one. And you know what? I know I want the tangerine one because I looked at all 176 and that's the one I want. I'm good. I'm completely confident in my decision because I looked at all of my options and I made an informed decision. Men, on the other hand, men want their choices simplified, okay? I'm sorry, you guys, but there is a reason why your clothes only come in 3 colors. Okay? Look at you. Black, navy, khaki, right? That's what you have. Men wear 3 colors of clothing, black, navy, and khaki. The reason is because, as Rob said, the magic number with men is 3. I swear to God, you're the only person that's ever nailed that. But it really is true. With men, 2 is not enough choice and 4 is too much. 3 is the magic number. All right? So if I say to you, chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry, he said yes. You can choose, though, right? Pick one. Strawberry, okay. Of those 3 flavors, I may not even have mentioned his favorite flavor. Maybe his favorite flavor is mint chocolate chip or butter pecan. But if I give him 3, he can choose, right? Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry, right? Blonde, brunette, redhead. He said yes. So the point is the magic number with men is 3. Fun fact, men buy more electronics than any other consumer group. More than women, more than Gen X, more than Gen Y, more than boomers, more than blacks, more than whites, more than Hispanics. Men, as a whole, buy more electronics than any other consumer group. So haven't you ever noticed that when you go shopping for electronics, whether it's a flat screen TV or a tablet or a phone or this or that all of the pricing is done in groups of 3? That is because from a retail science standpoint, they are not going to leave anything to chance. They know that men do best when they are presented with 3 choices. Men are very comfortable with picking one of 3. And to your point. So the point about the way that you would use a sales tactic like this is if you're selling to women, you give her all of the features, attributes, and benefits of a boat. You give her all of the specs. You give her all of the information. You give her all of the information on the payment plans and everything. And then step back and let her process it because she can make a decision. With a guy, you'd be like, here's our top 3 selling models. Here's our top 3 colors. Whatever it is. Narrow it down. Just like Rob said, narrow it down to 3. If a guy wants more information than that, he will always ask for more information and you can always give him more. But start with 3 and you'd be amazed at how far you'd get because men are very comfortable when presented with groups of 3. Does this make sense to you guys? All right, Rob, seriously, you get a gold star. Also, women think that advertisers really don't get them, right? So this is Pink and her Misunderstood album, right? 91% of women say that advertisers just don't understand us. So think about that. 91% of women are saying, the ads that you're making, I don't relate to those. Those aren't me. So to understand someone, how do you understand somebody? in my opinion, it's about understanding not just this gender, right? Women are just not one complete monolithic group where it's like all women are the same, any more than all men are the same. What makes you you and what makes a woman is their values, right? So I want to talk about the 5 key values of women. The 5 key values of women are universal. It does not matter whether you're an American woman or a European woman or a Latin American woman. The 5 key values of women are universal, and they are nurturing relationships, spending quality time with the people that you hold dear. Usually that means family first, but it can obviously extend out to social networks and things like that. All right? Nurturing relationships. Women are nurturers by nature. So we do tend to value those relationships, and those bring incredible enrichment to our lives. The second core value is sharing. It's not just about nurturing or having a life, it's about sharing those lives. Those days, those beautiful days on a boat, they mean more to us when we can share them with the people that we love and that we like. And we like to share with other women. Also, doing it better and simpler. Most women's lives are extremely demanding. Anything that makes it better or simpler for a woman is simply wonderful, right? How many of my sisters here in this room would agree with that, right? You have pretty demanding jobs, pretty demanding lives. Every minute of every day is taken up with something. So a big selling point is going to be, how does this make your life better? And raising happy and healthy families. This is the goal, the priority, and the focus for so many women. That becomes the key cornerstone of their lives, raising a happy and healthy family. Women, when they feel, for many women who feel this way, this is their crowning achievement. If they feel like if they've done nothing else in the world while they've walked this planet, if they have raised a happy and healthy family, they feel like they've done their jobs. And women support other women. You know, I say my sisters, and I'm kind of joking with her, but I'm kind of not. I mean, there is a sisterhood. In the same way that dudes, and men bond, women do too. And we sort of feel like we need to have each other's backs. Women support each other professionally and with business. Women tend to want to support women-owned businesses, and we really take pride in when other successful women do well. But also, women trust what other women say, even women we don't know. Now, here's how this works. I don't really understand it myself, but it really is true. Somehow we think that other women are not going to lie to us, even if we don't know those women. So if I'm looking at bedding on Macy's.com, and I'm thinking about buying this new bedding, and then I read a review, a testimonial, a review, a product review from somebody named Jennifer B. in Minneapolis. Now, I don't know who this woman is, but I can tell from her name that she's a woman, and she says, I ordered this bedding, and I thought it was going to be really great, but then I got it, and the blue wasn't as blue as I thought it was, and it didn't really look like the picture online, and I just was pretty disappointed in it. I'm not going to order that bedding. I don't even know who this woman is, but I just think that Jennifer B. in Minneapolis is not going to lie to me. She has no reason to lie to me. She has a reason to tell me the truth, and we believe what other women say. And I'm going to come back to this and how you use an insight like this with getting customer reviews online, because your women customers and your prospects will find those reviews online, and they will really take those to heart. Now, in addition to those 5 key values, millennial women, those are 18 to 35-year-old women, have specific values in addition to that, okay? Millennial women share all of those same values, but on top of those, they have a couple of extra special values. And that is that they are about the brands that they choose improving society, all right? And this isn't just millennial women who feel this way. It's definitely millennial men, too, but you really see this in very pronounced numbers with millennial women. They want to do business with people that they perceive to be the good guys, right? How are you improving society? Specifically, what that means is supporting a cause, whether it's supporting breast cancer, or the fight against breast cancer, I should say, whether it's supporting pets, whether it's supporting clean beaches and clean oceans, whatever it is. When you stand for something and you put that message out there, millennial women will find it, and they hold that tremendously dear to them. The reason that this is important is because women 18 to 35 are coming up as the largest consumer group since the boomers. And despite the fact that a lot of the press is dedicated right now to the fact that millennials are, many of them are, living at home and unemployed and all that, that's the story that the press likes to tell. And there is a significant percentage of that population that is struggling financially. Despite that, millennials are expected to be the wealthiest generation ever in American history, exceeding the wealth even of the boomers. Why? Because they have time on their side. You know, no economic downturn lasts forever. They have time. And secondly, the technological advances that are going to be made in their lifetimes are going to create more jobs and more industries than anything that you and I can even imagine at this point in time. So there's going to be tremendous wealth, and when people have wealth, they recreate. And when they recreate, they buy boats. So how do you message for millennials? Some key messaging for millennials. Here's what they say that they want to see in an ad. They want to see a lively, hip, high-energy tone. You know, just show me imagery or use copy points that don't sound stuffy and boring. You know, just something lively. And strong female characters. Very relatable. Offbeat, but never mean-spirited. This is the difference. This is another key difference between men and women. Men's humor tends to degrade other men, right? Think about beer commercials that you've seen. It's always about putting the other guy down, making him look like a doofus, you know, whatever. Not really, really mean-spirited, but kind of like joking at each other's expense, right? Having a laugh at somebody else's expense. Women don't think that's very funny. Women would never do that to each other. So we want something to be offbeat humor, and we want it to be fun and funny, but not necessarily mean-spirited. And happy situations that women can look at and insert themselves in mentally and say, that could be me, I could be her, I could see myself in that position, something that we can project. Does that make sense? Now, let's talk a little bit, I've just been speaking about millennial women, let's talk a little bit about boomer women. Boomer women are age 1946 to 1964, so yeah, 51 to 69. Boomer women are affluent and empowered. The reason for that is that women of this age have their own money. They have their own money. They either made it themselves in their own careers, or they made it in the stock market and they've invested well and they've made it that way, or they've inherited it, either from their ex-husband or from their parents, okay? But that's really true. I mean, a lot of women are divorced and they have money from a marriage or parents who have aged, etc. The point is they have money. Women over 50 are the healthiest, wealthiest, and most active generation of women in history. And 43% of Americans with $500,000 or more in assets are women. So nearly half of all Americans with $500,000 or more in assets are women. So it's, you know, we don't necessarily need a man to buy us a boat. We've got our own money and we can make our own decisions, and we are absolutely part of the equation. So what do affluent women want? Well, what the more mature luxury consumer places the highest priority is on actually not buying stuff. It's on making memories and experiences. They don't buy things so that they can have more things. They buy things so that they can have the experience that goes along with it. That's what they're buying. I was in another presentation last week for a different group, and it was funny that I was listening to another speaker there, and he was talking about how a key difference between boomers, Gen X, and Gen Y. It's a little off topic, but it'll make the point. He had 3 pictures, and one picture was of an amazing meal, right? A beautiful meal, fine linens, glass of wine, I mean, expensive, nice meal, beautiful table, etc. Second picture was a beautiful pair of high-heeled shoes. And the third picture was an amazing phone. So let's say it was a new iPhone 6. And he said, and this was a researcher, a market researcher, and he said, without fail, when you ask boomers, and particularly women, if you had $100 to spend and you could have, not $100, if you could have the very best of these 3 things, the very best meal, the very best high-heeled shoes, or the very best phone, what would you choose? High-heeled shoes, she says. Okay. And he said, without a doubt, it's something like 87% of boomers every time will say the meal. Gen X will say the high-heeled shoes. Are you Gen X? No? Okay, well, you got some Gen Xer in you. And interestingly enough, Gen Y cannot choose at all. No, not because they can't make a decision, but because literally they want it all. They want it all. They're like, I can't pick one. I want the meal and the shoes and the phone. The point that he was trying to say is Gen Y will actually settle for a B phone, a B set of shoes, and a B meal rather than the best in any category because they don't want to have to sacrifice. They want it all. But boomers, the reason they like the meal isn't because they need a good meal. You can get a good meal anywhere. It's because what the good meal represents to them is an amazing dinner with my friend that I will never forget. We haven't seen each other in ages. We caught up over a really nice meal. We had wine. We laughed. It was great. Boomers buy experiences. Boomers buy memories. We are right here in Orlando. We are in the happiest place on earth, right? Disney does not say that they are in the business of entertainment. Disney says we are in the business of making memories. That's how they can get all those millions of people to spend a ton of money at Disney World in a crowded park, a hot park with long lines. I mean, this is not necessarily a great business model, right? Hot, crowded, expensive. That doesn't really sound great. But people have amazing memories of going to Disney World. So never forget that with women, and particularly boomer women, and particularly affluent women, you are not selling a thing. You're selling an experience. And you're selling lasting memories. It's the heart and the soul, not the thing. So another thing that affluent women care about is a superior quality, and they're extremely discerning when it comes to superior quality. Now, this is true of men, too. I mean, when you have affluence, you also typically have education, and you have the means to get the best of anything. So that allows you to be a little bit more selective and a little more choosy. But they also care about security, convenience, and the environment. And they want luxury touches, all right? So women, I'm going to come back around to this thing with the environment, too. This is very, very important to women. If you can talk about how you are going green at your dealership, or your boats are more green, or anything that is more green, that is a huge hot button, an emotional hot button for women. Green. Green does matter. Nearly 50% of women say that they want more green choices. Because green is good, but right now, green is also expensive, right? Everything that is green is a little bit more expensive. So the more choices you can give me in a world of expensiveness, I feel better about that. Again, I like choice. 37% say that they're more likely to pay attention to brands that are committed to the environment or environmental causes. You're in the boating business. How could you not be committed to the environment? You can't sell a thing without the environment, right? The environment is your friend. Oceans, lakes. It's all about being outdoors. You are the environmental protectors. Right? The environment is, you are the keepers of the environment. You should be supporting anything that has to do with being a good steward of the environment. It not only makes good marketing sense, it makes good strategic sense. That's not a stretch. It's like if you were like, okay, I'm going to be friends of the ocean people or something like that. I'd be like, of course they're friends of the ocean. They're a boat dealer. That makes perfect strategic sense. So how do you reach women, prospective women voters? Is this helpful so far? Any questions? We're good? Okay. So, you got to find the women. As I mentioned to you, it's about getting in front of women. Once you understand what makes a woman tick, then you can engage her, right? You can't really talk to her until you figure out what you got to say. But you got to be able to find her first. And that's not necessarily easy because women are getting harder and harder to find. They are not watching TV, folks. They really aren't. Nor are they listening to the radio. They're just simply not there anymore. Why would I listen to the radio when I can listen to my iPod or Spotify or Pandora and I can listen to the music that I want to listen to? Why would I listen to the music that you play? All right? Where they are is online and reading direct mail. Now, I know that people say that direct mail is on decline, and it is as an industry as a whole. The two groups of people that are actually really into direct mail are women and Gen Y. Women, and I'm going to tell you why they're into direct mail in just a moment, but the other thing is Gen Y. The reason that Gen Y is into direct mail, you know why? Because they never got any. They never got any. By the time they came of age, nobody was really doing direct mail anymore, right? They were like sending emails or, so getting mail to them that's actually like to them, not to resident, is considered very special. This is like a real novelty. Like they've never really gotten mail. So they actually pay attention to that. They don't even get their bills. They don't get mail. They don't get mail. Even their bills come to their, to their computers. So women love direct mail. Let's talk a little bit about this. They love direct mail. Women more than men prefer direct mail for obtaining information. And they say they strongly agree with these statements. They strongly agree with, I enjoy checking the mailbox for mail. 62% say that they strongly agree with that statement. I enjoy getting mail from brands about new products. Almost 60% in there. Why? Why do women love getting mail? Well, They say that they can read the information when it's convenient for them. Remember, women have very demanding lives. So if they're trying to make a lunch for little Johnny or Susie and their phone is going off and this is going on or whatever, I can set that aside. I can set that direct mail piece aside, and later on, I can read it when I have a moment. So it's not like a television commercial or a radio commercial or something like that where it's here and it's gone. It stays. And they can refer back to that information when it's needed. I might not need a boat today. I can't even think about it right now because we're trying to get little Johnny off to camp, that kind of thing. But you know what? In a couple of weeks when things settle down, I'm going to go back through my junk drawer in my kitchen and I'm going to get that direct mail piece out and I'm going to look at that again. I can save it. I can take the information easily to different places. I know women friends of mine who literally will not leave the house without all of their coupons in the car. They've got all their coupons and their receipts and things like that because they're running around town, they're doing errands, and they want all that stuff with them and they can take it with them. And a lot of them have privacy concerns, especially with electronic communications, email. They feel that it's more private that if it's sent to them by their regular post office box than to send by email. And women like visual images, right? Direct mail is perfect for that. But it's not just direct mail. And I know that I just said that women don't watch television. And as a whole, women are not watching television nearly as much as they used to. But women 18 to 49, not women as a whole, younger women who are under the age of 50 actually watch more TV than men. Now, a lot of people don't think that. They think men watch TV. They're watching sports, they're watching news, they're whatever. And men do watch TV. But women 18 to 49 watch more TV than men. They love videos. I know this isn't TV, but it's all about images. YouTube and sharing those with friends. And those images, again, should be positive and upbeat and reflect social harmony. Women do not like to see other people being mocked or made fun of, okay? So we are the world. We are the children, right? We all want to get along. Women, again, are nurturers. Reflect social harmony, reflect people having a good time, sharing, etc. No jokes at anybody else's expense. And women are online. Women spend more time online than any other group, all right? Any other consumer segment by far. 66 hours a month versus 33. The average person in the United States spends 33 hours a month online. Okay, now this is not considering work. This is just in your social life, okay, your leisure. Women spend twice that amount. Not just a little bit more, twice that amount. 66 hours of leisure spent online. Think about that. So you've got to be there. You have to be there. It's not even a suggestion. It's really a mandatory. And women are early adopters of technology. Again, people tend to think that men are early adopters, and many of them are, but women see the latest digital devices as a way to actually help them run their lives. So therefore, it's not really a luxury anymore. It's really a necessity. And, you know, the thing is, women, if you really want the closest thing to a crystal ball, this is just Kelly science, okay? I got nothing to back this up other than my own instincts. But in my opinion, the closest thing that we have, all of us have, to a crystal ball, if you want to see how the economy's doing, what consumers care about, and consumer trends, watch housing. Because as housing goes, people go, right? So when the economy's good, housing goes up. When the economy's bad, housing goes down. But more than that, the fastest growing trend in housing today is not one, but 2 home offices. And that second home office is for her. And even if she is a stay-at-home mom and she does not have a job that is in an office someplace, make no mistake, she still needs a home office. She still needs a place to handle all of the family demands, the PTA stuff, the kids' schedules. And so home builders are building in, even if it's in a small little desk in an alcove, a place that is hers, that is her office, okay? And that is because she is managing a family and a life. She's not just managing her life, she's managing lives. 3 people's lives, 4 people's lives, 5 people's lives, okay? And if she works on top of that outside the home, even more so. Women have mastered technology, and so consequently, prime time is now anytime, right? So, I mean, there really is no prime time anymore. You can reach women anytime. And it's all about social media, right? Women are 45% more likely to use social media than the general population. When we talk about women spending 66 hours a month online, this is where they're spending it. They're spending it reading blogs. They're spending it connecting with their friends. They're spending it, socializing. They are spending it online. They're spending it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. How many of you have a business Facebook page? Not your personal, business. How many of you tweet for your business? Hands up. Say it loud, say it proud. Okay, see, okay, all right. So that looks like about 25% of the room. How many of you have an Instagram account for business? How many of you have Pinterest for business? Oh, look at you, good students. All right, awesome. Do you find that it helps? Those of you who are using social media and different types of media, do you find that it brings you leads, or do you find that people are responding and liking and engaging? All right? And I'm telling you another trend, too. Mark my words. I know all of this requires a little bit of time right now, but that's really all it requires. It doesn't really require money. That will not last forever. That will not last forever. This stuff is not going to stay free forever. It just can't. So we're going to sit back and look at this session someday and go, remember those sessions on social media? Remember when it was free? They're going to learn how to monetize it and get money from us at every step of the turn. Also, women are active on blogs. 23 million women are active on blogs. What do we mean by active? They're either posting blogs themselves, reading them, or commenting on them. All right, so there's 3 different levels of engagement. I can have a blog myself, I can actually just read your blog and not leave a comment, or I can actually leave a comment. Anybody can have a blog. Women love blogs. They form relationships with people who blog. A friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, she became a mom at the age of 42, which is not an age when most people are starting families, and it was a very unexpected thing, and she became a mom at 42. And she started a blog called Scary Mom, okay? Because she's like, I don't know how to do this, and I'm probably not going to be the best mom, and so, you know, I've got my life set up. She has something like 19,000 followers. She has no idea who these people are. She's like, I don't even know 19 people in my life, much alone 19,000. So women are very into this. They find each other. They connect with blogs that are meaningful to them. Blogs are key because here's why it's important to blog. It's not just yet one other social media tool that keeps you exposed. It does. Exposure in the good way. It's about search engines. That is why companies blog and people blog. The way that search engines work, the way that when you Google something, that your company comes to the top of that list, is through fresh content. The bots that crawl the web like fresh content. And so blogging, let's say you blog once every 10 days, or you blog once a week. Blogging keeps your search engine rankings high. If you created a website for yourself and your company 5 years ago, and you've never really had to update it, you never added anything to your hours, you never really had to update anything, I mean, it's just kind of like been there, whatever, you will find over time your search engine rankings falling and falling and falling and falling because there's been no new content. So blogs that have a link to your website at the end that says, you know, for more information, click here. This is why people drive this. This is what companies sell you as advice for big bucks, okay? So what you want to do is strive to blog once a week, maybe once every 10 days. This doesn't have to be an everyday thing. And what you want to blog about, because that's the other question people go, oh my gosh, first of all, I only have 24 hours in a day. You want to add one more thing to my plate? Oh, come on. But secondly, what am I going to say? I don't know what to say. Who's going to read my blog? What you want to share is tips and insider hints. The reason that somebody is going to read a blog is not so that you can advertise to them or beat your chest and promote. That's not why anybody's going to read it. They're going to read because you help them. Oh, you gave me a tip I didn't know. Oh, that's a fun fact. That's kind of cool. Oh, that makes sense. So helping beats selling. Anytime you can help me, you're going to sell me. Helping beats selling. And especially in today's world where people have a lot of choices regarding information and media, et cetera, helping beats selling. You don't have to sell me. Don't sell me. As a matter of fact, all of us are getting pitched to death, right? Just back off and just give me a chance to understand what it is that you can do for me. I'm going to show you some examples. Don't be afraid to show some personality, too. You know, on your website, that's commercial. Your website is commercial. That needs to show the who, what, when, where, your marina, your boating, you know, your dealership, your hours, your staff, the brands that you carry, all that kind of stuff. That's commercial. But on a blog, somebody's reading your blog because they want to talk to you. Not the company, you. They want to know what you have to say. You can show some personality here, and you should. Let me give you an example. I know that you people in the back there cannot possibly read this, so I'm going to read this for you. This is a blog for an accountant. An accountant. If an accountant can blog, so can you. I mean, who reads an accountant's blog, right? I mean, that is so unsexy. I know. It's like, right? So This one's called Tick Marks. And let me show you where this guy's giving a little bit of a personality. He says, primarily a weblog about accounting and related topics such as taxation and personal finance. Other topics such as politics and sports likely will come up from time to time. So what I like about that is he's giving himself a little bit of latitude. He's basically saying 99% of the time I'm going to be blogging about financial tax topics or whatever, but frankly, if last night's game was awesome, then I might really want to blog about last night's game. And he's giving that latitude. And he's saying that up front. If you follow this blog, I don't know, maybe I'm going to go off the rails and I'm going to blog about politics or sports. So this particular one was called 7 Accounting Changes Which Could Affect Your Bottom Line. There's no selling here. He's helping. Here's 7 accounting changes that could affect your bottom line. But the fact that he's doing this makes me kind of think this guy might be an expert in this, right? The very fact that he's even just publishing this. And then here's all of his other stuff over here. IRS heads up on the taxpayer identification test. Again, helping. Corporate fraud in China? Don't use SSNs to mess with the IRS. Whatever. I mean, the point is, this is boring to me, but if I was a person who was interested in this kind of stuff, this guy isn't selling anything, he's helping, right? And he's showing a little bit of personality along the way. Here's another one. Atlanta Patio and Deck Company, okay? So, they're obviously selling renewal of decks, right? If your deck is all faded and worn out or whatever, they're the ones who restore it and bring it back to life. Do you need to clean your Atlanta deck before staining and sealing it? Yes. Helping beats selling. And then they go on, and this entire article is about that. Now, what I would say is one of the great ways that you can actually blog is to think about when you go to a cocktail party that's not in your industry, not like tonight. You're out with your friends, you meet a neighbor, whatever. And someone says, what do you do for a living? And you say, I am a boat dealer, right? I am betting that 99% of you get the same questions over and over and over in terms of frequently asked questions, right? Like, how much does a boat cost? Or do they have financing programs for boats? Or like, what kind of boats do you sell? I mean, so what I'm thinking is, if you take those questions that you get asked most often, that's what you blog about. Because I promise you that the reason that they picked this topic was because time after time after time, people must say, do I need to actually clean my deck before you guys come over and restore it, or do you guys do that? And the reality is, yeah, you need to do that. It needs to be properly cleaned before we can restore it and seal it. Asked and answered. But follow your heart and follow your instincts. If the questions that you get over and over and over again are about your industry, then those are the things that people want to know about. So why not give that information away for free? That positions you as an expert. Here's another one. Seasonality works in your favor, right? There is a boating season, is there not? Absolutely there is. Other industries have seasonality too. Sometimes you can just blog about the season. This is an outdoor lighting company, right? So at this time of the, you can use outdoor lighting on a nice home anytime. I'm trying to pick upscale things here that people blog about. But outdoor lighting is particularly important during the holidays, right? People want their homes to look really nice at Christmas and at Hanukkah and things like that. So wrapping up another successful year in outdoor lighting. So it's the week before Christmas when all through the place our holiday lighting is finished with smiles from our client base. Their lighting is hung by the trees and roof lined with care in hopes that the festivities are enjoyable to share. They just wrote a blog about how we had a great year. It's nice, happy holidays. There's nothing really there. They're just blogging, right? They're blogging because it keeps your search engine optimization high. And women pin and blog on Pinterest. Look at this one. Anybody, who are my Pinterest people? There was a handful of you who were on Pinterest. You, say it loud, say it proud. Okay. Do you know about boating blogs on Pinterest? Are you there? Are you there? You need to be there, okay? Are you there? Okay, good. I love this. I decided to change the title from Sailing Blogs to make room for interesting blogs from other boaters. We all have salt in our veins and we share the same love of the ocean. So, boating blogs, right? This stuff is out there, and women don't waste their precious time following something that they're not interested in. That is high potential mining right there. Why wouldn't you want to be there? Go where the fish are biting. Here's Waterfront Marine's blog. I don't suppose there's anybody here from Waterfront Marine? No? I just pulled this stuff. I was just like pulling out boating blogs. But sure enough, when you go to their website, right there on home, sales, parts and ship, about us, service blog, they make it easy to connect with them. And here's their blogs. Okay, let's look and see what they blogged about. John's testimonial for our New Jersey boat dealer. Garrett's testimonial for our New Jersey boat dealer. Bob and Sandy's testimonial. I mean, basically, all they're doing is posting client testimonials and customer testimonials as a blog. That's not technically a blog post, in my opinion, but why not? It's better than not having a blog. They're saying something, and they're keeping their content fresh for search engines. Here's another one. Sarasota Yacht and Ship. Anybody hear from them? Anybody know them? Do you guys know them at all? Who knows them? Who said that? You know them? Are they a competitor? Or how do you know them? You sell the same brand of boats and you know them too? Oh, you point to him. Okay. All right. So this is their Facebook page. This is their Facebook page. So on their Facebook page, you can see that it's got all the normal Facebook stuff, but they've also added a custom tab of Follow Our Blog. They're making it easy to connect with their blog wherever you can be, and women are online. And then they gave, what happens when you actually click on that? They gave shout-outs to customers. Sarasota Yacht and Ship Blog. Okay, so this one here. Congratulations to Chris and Diane Roberts on their purchase of a new Belize 54 hardtop sedan through SYS broker Jason Moschke. They received their boat last weekend in Marina Jacks. They plan to keep Sarasota, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they're just basically complimenting their customers. I think that's so cool. If you're the customer, that's going to make you feel great. If you're not the customer, but you're the prospect, then you're like, wow, these guys are the good guys. They're totally the good guys. They're nice, they're doing business, they're sharing it out. That doesn't cost a dime. Is this helpful to see how some other people are doing this? Okay. Any questions on this before I move on? Okay. Engaging her. Here's the deal with women. Fab. And we don't just mean fabulous shoes. Fab. Features, attributes, benefits. That's what FAB stands for. There's even this little cartoon here. What does FAB stand for? Features, attributes, and benefits. This is the key to a woman's heart. Sell me on all three of these. Sell me the features, sell me the attributes, and sell me the benefits. Let me give you an example. This is my car, okay? Literally, my car. My car has a feature, and that is Bluetooth technology, right? A lot of you have this as well. That is a feature that is in my car. The attribute of Bluetooth technology is that it gives me hands-free talking, right? That's the attribute that goes along with the feature. The benefit of that is safety. Does that make sense? These three things are different. The feature, what am I selling? Bluetooth. Okay, why should I care about Bluetooth? Because it gives you hands-free technology. Okay, why should I care about that? Boom, benefit. Why should I care? The benefit is the answer to why should I care. Okay? Does that make sense, this example? Let me give you another one. WP Engine. The feature on WP Engine, which is a company that does state-of-the-art, latest web hosting technology. If that's not boring stuff, I don't know what is. Okay? No, it really is. I mean, that's like, snooze city, right? That's the feature. We're the latest and latest and greatest state-of-the-art web hosting technology. What does that mean? It means that you get the fastest WordPress hosting. Why should I care? Because a faster site, in terms of a website, means more money. Right? That's why I should care. Features, attributes, benefits. It's like a ladder that's going down. What is it? What does it do? Why should I care? Let me give you another one for boating. Features, attributes, and benefits on this one. I know you can't read this, so let me show you what I pulled out of this one. This is, obviously an ad. I think it was off that blog back there. This one says, the advantages of such a layout, they're talking about the layout of the boat. The advantages of such a layout are many, but the main one is the convenience of every activity being available on one single flowing level. Everything is right to hand. Helm, galley, saloon, dining, bar, entertainment systems, all within the comfort and protection of a roomy, weatherproof space. And then look up here. Unlike many of today's leisure vessels that developed as game boats and come with bridge decks either fully enclosed or with all-around clears, this boat's primary purpose is less about chasing lunch as more social pursuits. Not so much catching fish as catching up. This is the feature or the attribute. This is the benefit, right? Why should I care about that? So that I can spend time catching up, not necessarily catching fish. Does that make sense? You make an ad like that this is not even an ad, this is like their blog post or whatever it is. But if you're marketing to women, this is what we care about, and we don't think about this. We don't kind of walk around as women kind of going, feature, attribute, benefit, fab. We don't think like that. But what we do think is like, okay, I get it. I get why I should care about this. So, frame every presentation, and by presentation I mean an actual physical presentation if a woman is in your dealership or in your showroom, or a presentation and a message as, how is this going to benefit her? Right? Because again, that's what she cares about. How is it going to benefit her? Is it going to save her time? Is it going to save her money? Is it dependable? Is it reflecting the latest in design, style, techniques? Is it the most economical choice? Whatever. Is it about catching up rather than catching fish? Is it about spending quality time with your loved ones? Whatever it might be. So, right now, and for those of you who are isolated over there in Siberia, this is going to be a difficult exercise for you. You're going to have to work a little harder. Turn to your neighbor. If you haven't met them, introduce yourself, make a friend. And identify a fab, a feature, attribute, and benefit that you could sell to women. And you have 5 minutes. Rob just asked a question and a good one. He said, could it be any item or not? I guess I'm particularly thinking of this exercise relative to boating or your industry or, what it is you sell. So I think that would be the easiest thing to do is to make it about what you know and what you sell. And you don't have to figure out all three of these things. I would say at least identify something that would be a key thing to women based on what you've learned here today and just try to figure out if it's a feature, an attribute, or benefit. Thank you.
You're in.
Okay, how are we doing?
Terrible. Reverb. Or that's a helicopter.
All right, how are we doing? Anybody want to share their feature, attribute, or benefit, or all three with the group? Oh, come on now. All right. And if you wouldn't mind, I'm sorry. If you wouldn't mind, say who you are and just, who you're with or whatever. Just introduce yourself to the team here and then tell us your feature, attribute, and benefit.
Okay, my name is Travis Parker. I'm from Bills Marine in Portsmouth, Virginia. And we were discussing that our boats are all fiberglass construction.
Okay.
Meaning there's no wood in the construction of them, and the benefit would be that A, it's green, not cutting down trees, and also it's not going to have any rotting, and it's going to last forever.
Fantastic. All right, you heard all that? All right. Let's give it up for Travis. All right. Thank you for sharing. Who else? And if you would say who you are and who you're with.
Hi, I'm Pete from Legend Boats in Ontario, Canada. We are a manufacturer of pontoons and aluminum boats. One of our pontoon features is a smart deck. The attribute is a lowered sun deck in the back, which has a higher rail. So the benefit would be safety, so kids can't roll off into the water. There
we go. All right, give it up. Who wants their kids to roll off the boat? No. All right, good. Thanks, Pete. Who else? Come on. Okay, hang on. Running in 5-inch heels. And if you would say who you are.
My name's Chris, and with Regal Boats, and one of the features that we talked about was joystick. So there's joystick docking is the feature. The attribute, the customer can now dock the boat just by moving the joystick in the direction they want the boat to go. And the benefit, particularly for anybody, is for the women. A lot of times they're concerned about their husband, something happens to them out in the water. They're uncomfortable, so it makes it easy for them to dock the boat if something happened.
Perfect. All right, give it up for Chris. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to come over there. The other thing, too, is I want you to know that if you're selling to a woman, you don't need to use these words, feature, attribute, and benefit. I mean, that sounds a little scripted, right? So no, seriously, I mean, you wouldn't want to go. But what you could do is kind of go, let me show you a key feature of the boat here, blah, blah, blah. And then you just roll right into the benefits and go, and here's why it matters, and here's why you're going to care about this. So I wouldn't necessarily use attributes and benefits. That sounds a little rehearsed. I mean, really, that's just me. But do whatever you want to do. All right, hang on. I'm going to turn this off before I walk across that speaker again. Ooh, I'm in the safe zone. All right, you, right? Are you going to share with it? Okay, they were struggling, but they nailed it.
I'm Rob with the Memphis Boat Center. The 2015 Malibu has a docking feature that when you enable it, it actually desensitizes the throttle to give somebody that could be a new driver when you're pulling into the dock the ability, if they do panic and punch the throttle, it's not going to quite take off as much. So it makes it a little bit safer for a new driver to learn how to maneuver the boat around the dock.
Okay, great. Okay, give it up for Rob. Okay. Did you want to talk about your... Okay, all right. Okay. So, you guys see how this works, though, right? I mean, again, do what you want to do regarding features, attributes, and benefits. Use the language that is most comfortable to you in just talking to a woman, but be sure and point out not just that feature, but how it benefits her. So, let me go back to it. We're supposed to have another 45 minutes here. I want to leave robust time for questions. I'm just going to wrap up with some social media facts. Women love Facebook. I mean, everybody loves Facebook, right? Is there anybody that's not on Facebook anymore, right? But there are more women than men on Facebook. Women spend a lot of time on Facebook. Moms feel Facebook is more important than other women. So women spend more time than men on Facebook. But within that group of women, moms spend more time than non-moms, okay? So it's a real sweet spot. So here's some tips for marketing to women on Facebook. Don't spam them. I mean, you don't reward somebody who liked you by then spamming them. Isn't that uncool? Like, that would be like the worst thing ever, right? These are the people who basically said, I like you. I want to follow you. I want to be up on everything that you say. You don't reward somebody by spamming them. The other thing I will tell you is there anybody here who is responsible for actually handling the social media at their dealership? You, a couple of you? Okay. Do you feel that pressure to get more likes, right? More fans, right? And you know how long it takes to get that, right? The first 500 is just brutal. I mean, it takes forever, right? Fun fact, did you know that the average person on Facebook, and there are more than 1 billion people on Facebook now, the average person on Facebook likes/fans only 7 brands. Now, obviously, there's some people who like everything and they like, 100, but there's also people who like nothing. The average person only likes 7. So if you are sitting there on your worst dark day kind of going, oh my gosh, we haven't seen our fans grow at all in the last month or whatever, do not despair. Because with the fans that you have, you are one of their 7. Think about that. That's a big deal. So again, if somebody is liking you, you don't reward them by spamming them. And listen to the fans that you have and ask them questions. Nobody is following you so that they can have a monologue from you. They want to have a dialogue. If you're not sure what to post, ask them. Ask them. Just simply say, thank you for all of our loyal fans. What are the things that are most on your hearts and minds and wallets that we can help with? You know, what do you want us to talk about? They'll tell you, believe me. Also, post quotes and advice, like a series that your fan can look forward to on a weekly basis. Maybe it's Tuesday Trivia. Tuesday Trivia, you're posting a fun boating trivia question every Tuesday and you're giving out a small prize. You know, whether it's a Starbucks gift card or something fun, I mean, whatever it is. But that's the kind of series where women will be like, oh, you know what, every Tuesday they do this cool trivia thing, and I'm going to make sure that I jump on their Facebook page and check out what the trivia question is. And remember, helping beats selling. Helping beats selling. Women with Twitter. Who are my Twitter people? I saw some of you. There's not very many of you. You're tweeting. Okay, and you're tweeting? Okay. Images are actually the most commonly shared thing on Twitter these days. Twitter is the fastest conduit of news and information in the world now. It is the fastest conduit of information in the world. News articles are the second most common thing that are posted on Twitter, and links to videos. And I think this is, again, the 140-character limitation of Twitter does not really allow for large conversations. So really people are trying to post images which are, you know, a quick thing. Ooh, I had this amazing smoothie for breakfast. Or, you know, news articles, click here for more information on this great article, and videos. Also, women love YouTube. It provides an easy way to search for more information in a visual way, and the two most commonly searched words on YouTube are the words how to. How to anything. How to tie a bow tie. How to hang your Christmas lights. Anything. The two most commonly searched words on YouTube are how to. So when, again, going back to blogging, and I'm asking you, think about the questions that you get all the time when people meet you for the first time and they don't know anything about boating, and then all of a sudden now they have a boating resource and they start asking you questions. Think about the most commonly asked questions that you get that begin with, how do I? Right? Because that's what you want to make a YouTube video about. How do I properly clean my boat? How do I properly dock a boat? How do I, you know, whatever, I don't know. But just how to. People love how-to stuff, and that's what they go to YouTube for. It's also a great way for you to do a low-cost or no-cost virtual tour. Why would you not want to be making a video of every single, I mean, we're talking on your phone here. This doesn't have to be Gone with the Wind Part 2. You know, people don't expect that. They want organic and authentic. And so you take your phone and you do a virtual tour of a boat and you throw it up on YouTube, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So if you're going to make videos, then keep them short. Because people have a very, very short attention span. You know this, right? 3 minutes is the max. Edit them and add music if you can, just to keep them fun and interesting. And, if possible, use some humor. I mean, let's say you're doing this little virtual tour of a boat, and then you trip, and you're like, whoa, okay, that's exactly why we have this new non-slip feature here, you know, or whatever it is. I mean, have some fun with it. And make them fun, but also make sure that they're giving useful information and you're not just selling. Instagram. Who's on Instagram? There were some people on Instagram. You are. You're just like the social media peeps over here. All right. Instagram is a free app for smartphones. It was launched in 2010, and it has enjoyed explosive growth, the fastest growing medium. I think the reason for this is just my personal opinion, is people don't want to read anymore. They don't want to read anything. No, they really don't. They just want to look at pictures. They really do. That's why YouTube and Instagram do so well, and Pinterest. They just want to look at pictures. So it's all about short and sweet. And it's an artistic picture sharing site, and obviously you can apply filters, and this is why Instagram is so hot. And Pinterest is hot too. Pinterest is totally a chick magnet. In fact, they didn't create it this way, but it turned out to be like 87% of the people who are on Pinterest are women. It's almost an embarrassment for a guy to be on Pinterest. It's like they're going to take away your man card if you're on Pinterest, right? So actually, there's a new site that was started to kind of counteract that and make it like okay for men to be on a picture sharing site, and it's called Gentlemint, M-I-N-T. It's dying because guys just don't do this. Okay, it's totally where chicks are. So it is a sweet spot for you, though. 80% of users are women. Again, I think it's more like 87. Moms are 61% more likely to Pinterest than others, and it's the most visited site among American moms. And check this out. This was the one that rocked my socks. Users of Pinterest spend an average of an hour and 17 minutes on the site every time they visit. Not an average a day or an average week. Every time. In other words, this is a time suck. You will go into the virtual vortex here and you will just like not emerge for hours, right? When I first started exploring Pinterest, I opened up a Pinterest account and I abandoned it within about 2 weeks because it's not for me. I just don't care for it personally. I don't think I'm as visual as other people are. But more importantly, I got sucked in from a time standpoint. It sucked me in. And I would lose hours. At first I was losing hours just trying to like learn how to navigate and figure out how it worked or whatever. And then all of a sudden I got sucked in. And I couldn't really afford to be sucked in like that. It will just eat your day. I mean, I don't know how anybody can actually stay employed and be on Pinterest. I mean, but the point is, the cool thing is if you are on Pinterest, this is fertile ground because women are on there and they're on there very actively and engaged and they spend a lot of time there. And also another thing to think about is how many of you have happy, satisfied women customers? Of course you do, right? More growing all the time. So if you have happy, satisfied women customers, why would you not want to tap into that already fertile ground and come up with a women or a mom panel and say, you know what, we love customers like you. We would love to get more customers just like you. So one of the things that we'd like to do is have you sort of be on an advisory board, if you will, and help us with some of the things. And what we can do for you in exchange is, and you give them things, right? So companies like Disney find this to be incredibly helpful because, again, women share information with other women, and women will tell you what you need to know. And if you already have these happy, satisfied women customers, I promise you that if you ask them what they think, they are happy to tell you. And you don't really have to pay them. I mean, give them a gift card, something. So here's an example. This is actually a screenshot from the Disney Moms panel, and they literally say, about the Moms panel. The Walt Disney World Moms Panel is a forum where online moms answer your questions and offer advice about family vacations to Walt Disney World. Because maybe I've got questions and I don't want to know what Disney has to say. I want to know what another mom has to say, right? About the Moms Panelist, right? So they have a little disclaimer here about, not all moms are the same. And it says panelists have received or will receive a Walt Disney World Resort, Disney Cruise Line, blah, 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 vacation for the panelists and up to 3 family members. So they're saying right up front, we do compensate them. We compensate them for their time, but they're not paid spokespeople, right? So I'm not suggesting that you have to do anything this formal, but what I am suggesting is that you have fertile ground if you have happy, satisfied women customers. And I would absolutely have a get-together with them once a quarter where you're inviting them to the dealership and you're having wine and cheese and you're saying, here's what we've got coming up in our business. Here's some of the things that we've got going on. What are the things that you would want to hear about as a new customer? How would you expect to hear about it? I mean, just pick their brains. They're going to feel validated. They're going to tell their friends the next day that they went to your dealership and had wine and cheese and got to see all these new boats. Invite them to bring friends. Bring others. Tap into women's key values. Because of women's 5 key values that I talked about at the beginning, I believe that 3 of them are tailor-made for boating. Nurturing relationships is tailor-made for boating, right? Spending quality time with the people that they hold dear. This is such a no-brainer. Raising happy and healthy children. I believe it was Pete over there who talked about, was it Pete who talked about the safety thing, the kid not falling off the boat? This is obviously a huge deal. Offer interactive contests for children that help them lead a healthy lifestyle. What's healthier than being outside? Right? Fresh air, exercise, playing. There is a huge issue right now in this country, folks, with childhood obesity, right? This is a hot topic. There's not a mom in the world who's going to be like, I don't care about that. They all care. Everybody wants their kid to be happy and healthy and to be running around. So why wouldn't you want to say, as part of a healthy, happy, active childhood, boating fits in beautifully because it keeps your kid outside, it keeps them playing, it keeps them intellectually engaged. There's a science behind it. Oh, look at the fish, look at the this or the that, the rocks, etc. Offer boating tips and ideas that families can do together to aid moms in keeping their kids healthy. They're going to be far more interested in your product because it's going to help make their job easier. And part of their job is keeping their families healthy. Right? Sharing their lives and experiences with other women and friends, anything that you can do that encourages women to hang out with other women relative to boating. Harley Davidson does it. Harley Davidson wanted to introduce riding to women. And so they started a clinic on Saturdays where if you are ever interested in riding a bike, this is your chance to come. It's a free class on Saturdays. No sales pressure because women don't respond to pressure, right? And the class is taught by a woman, and you're going to hang out and hobnob with other women who have a similar interest, and they're probably going to be pretty cool women, just like you, and they have snacks and the whole thing. Other brands do this. Invite women to share. Have some kind of event at your dealership or your business where they can bring their friends. So, let me wrap up by talking about some do's and don'ts for marketing to women. Understand that the truth can never hurt you. Right, ladies? We can handle the truth. We can totally handle the truth. What we can't handle is the runaround, right? So nobody likes surprises and nobody likes unpleasant surprises. If your product or service is not perfect, if I say, can it do this? And you go, no, it cannot. It's okay, but it can do this. That's okay. We just want to know. We just don't want to be surprised later, right? The truth can never hurt you. And what we also want, in addition to the features, attributes, and benefits when you're selling us, is we buy DQR, dependability, quality, and reliability. Now, obviously, you're not selling anything that's not DQR, but this is what women place a tremendous premium on. No pressure ever. Women do not respond very well to pressure. Nobody does, really, but women will actually push back on that, right? They will actually push back on that. So let me have your hand. Put your hand up against mine. Just don't push on me. Just, okay. I'm pushing on his hand. What did you do? You pushed back, right? So the minute I start pushing on you, your natural inclination, I didn't tell you what to do. I just said, I'm going to put your hand up, and you did. But when I pushed on you, your natural inclination was to resist and to push back. That is the same with high-pressure sales for women. When you push on us, we push back. We may not actually push back, but we plant our feet, and we're like, I'm not buying from this guy, right? So women don't need any pressure. Give her all the information she needs, and then back off and let her process that and decide, right? Women like information. Women like choices. Give us all the information that we need. Discuss all those options, and then let us process and let us come back to you with any questions, etc. Provide rich content online. Women do more research online than any other consumer group. More than men, more than blacks, more than whites, more than Gen X, more than Gen Y, more than boomers. Any way you can slice and dice consumers, women spend more time researching things online. That's part of that 66 hours a month. When they're interested in something, the first thing they do is jump online, right? So make online information useful and informative. Test every link and fix your broken links. Isn't that maddening when you're on a website and you click on something and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do? That's sloppy. In this day and age, that's crazy. All right? Because you've got somebody on your website and then it's broken. So if you haven't checked out your own website, because links break all the time, you haven't done anything wrong, they just do. They just do. If you haven't checked out every single page of your website and every single link, you need to do that. And monitor that on a regular basis. And don't simply throw up raw information like spec information. I mean, okay, that's helpful. That's a good place. But again, translate it for me. Okay, it's nice that you have this bow and that it has this deep thing. But again, give me a benefit. That's so that your kids don't fall overboard. And post testimonials and reviews. Women respond to what other women say. We trust what other women say, and we listen to what other women say. So if you have those happy, satisfied women customers, get a review from them. Even if you have to write it yourself, you call somebody up, because nobody wants any more work. So if I say, can you write a review for me? You're like, oh, great. But if I say, you know what? I know you were so happy with your boating purchase last month. I would love to get a testimonial from you. What are the 3 things you love most about your boat? You write them down, and then you craft a little, 3 sentences or something like that. You run it past them, and you say, is it okay if we paraphrase what you said and we frame it like this? Can we put that on our site? I promise you she's going to say yes. She's going to be flattered that you asked, and that didn't cost you anything. Be the good guys. You're already the good guys, but you have to market that you are the good guys. People don't just inherently know that you're the good guys. Market your social consciousness. I know that every one of you in this room is the good guys and you are already doing good things. But you have to let people know that you're doing good things. Maybe you're going green at your dealership. Maybe you're doing a blood drive at your dealership once a quarter or once a year. Maybe you're donating your old computers to your local school. Maybe you're cleaning up the beaches, right? Here's one. Join us. This is Panera, right? We all know Panera. Join us as we adopt a shore. Saturday, May 21st in St. Petersburg, right? Help us clean up our beach. Enjoy complimentary breakfast and volunteer T-shirts. I'm not even sure you have to do anything like breakfast. Just say, anybody want to join us? We're going to get a volunteer T-shirt. This is a perfect fit for boating. Who cares more about the environment and who has more at stake in the environment than you guys? It's your livelihood. And you know what? The people who boat with you, they care about the same things that you care about. They care about the beaches. They care about the ocean. They care about the water. So be the good guys and promote the good deeds that you do. In fact, if I were you, on your websites, along with all of the other commercial information that you have, I would have a button that has community involvement. Because again, you're already doing this kind of stuff. But you got to let people know, because people care about that. And know that women support other women, and you should too. When women are aware that you support other women-owned businesses, 79% say that they would try your product, 80% say that that solidifies their brand loyalty, and 51% would give a company a second chance if the product or service missed the mark the first time, if they feel like you support women. And who amongst us doesn't need a second chance, right? We all make mistakes. Your people screw up, you screw up, we all do. So this is really a big deal. So, lastly, last interactive exercise, and then we're going to wrap up. Now, we have talked about a lot of stuff, and despite the fact that I said every one of you are going to get these slides, I see that many of you took notes. There's something that you took notes about even though you didn't have to. So turn back to your neighbor, or maybe to the neighbor on the other side, and discuss two things that you learned here today, or that gave you an idea for something that you can go back to your dealership on Friday or Monday, whatever, and you can do. It can be, and there's no right or wrong. It can be simple, it can be expansive, just two things that you thought of. Yeah.
they shop together. So if women, want to have all of the choices laid out in front of
Yep.
them and so forth, men only want 3. How do you deal with?
That's an excellent question. Can I bring it up and answer with the whole group? Okay. Okay. I want to be respectful of your time and get you out of here in time to go to your cocktail party and all that kind of stuff. Anybody got? I'm sorry. Forgot about that one. Anybody have 2 things that they learned that they want to share that they're going to go back and do that came from this class? What's that? The question is, does anybody want to share of the 2 things that you will go back and do? All right. Hang on. Now I got to turn my mic off while I walk past the danger zone. You got it? Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Angola, Indiana, Dry Dock Boat Center. We've never done a direct mailer to women with, our motto is your ultimate family boating center. But pictures with women and their children on a boat directly on a direct mailer is something we've never done.
And women at the helm, too.
At the helm, right.
Yeah, let me get past this and turn my mic back on. I showed you a lot of images that I just took from Google Images. I mean, of women at the helm of the boat. And I think you want to show women in that position, too, where it's like, okay, this isn't just for you to be a pretty decorative thing on the boat here. You can drive this boat, too, and you can, drive your own family fun with that. So that's an excellent one. Okay, so direct mail.
Yeah, and also tying to that, a women's event. Come learn how to drive the boat. Or
That's
come
right.
do a women's wakeboarding lessons or wake surfing women only kind of an event.
Absolutely. And bring a friend. Encourage her to bring friends. Because the other thing is women don't necessarily want to just go to your dealership by themselves. I may not know anybody there. That's a little awkward. I don't know if it's going to be fun or whatever. But I know if I bring my friend Susan, we're going to have fun because we can have fun in a paper bag. So we're going to have fun. And bring snacks. Have snacks. Women like snacks.
Hi, Pete again from Legend Boats. Something to add to that, guys, that you might want to take a look at. Something we did a couple years ago was a ladies' night at one of our dealerships. And in order to qualify, the ladies had to call into the radio station, caller 7, want to pass to this ladies' night. And it was a huge, huge success. We actually had men that were ticked off that they weren't allowed in. We ran it from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. We had wine and cheese, all kinds of prizes, all kinds of things. So we did a seminar on, what's it take to buy a boat, the financing, what are the costs of boats, V-hulls, pontoons. We had pontoon rides, how to drive a boat, how to dock a boat. It was only about 2.5 hours. People stuck around. It was a huge, huge success, and we ended up selling a few boats afterwards. But it's something to add to your direct mail out. Focus it on a direct party just for women, and I'm telling you, it's a really strong thing. We had over 50 women show up. Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
That's absolutely that's a great idea, and I would also say to you that that in your sessions on how to do this with a boat, how to do that, remember that people like lists. People like lists. Things like 5 things to know about before you buy a boat, or 5 things that you're going to need to know in terms of the care and feeding of your boat or whatever. People love those things. It really breaks it down and makes it very manageable. And then things like the prospect of boat ownership don't seem so scary when it's like 5 things I need to know. Okay, and I'm going to go and I'm going to get this. And I'm going to get a chance to, what if those 5 things even just spur more questions? Well, that's okay, because I can ask those people right then and there. I mean, I can read an article on that kind of stuff, but I can't ask a question of an article. So if you're giving me all these sessions or whatever, but then you're giving me 5 tips, 5 things to know, whatever. People love lists. Remember, people don't read anymore. So keep your direct mail piece short and sweet. And I haven't forgotten your question. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But first, I'm off. You, right? Can you pass this back to him, and can you introduce yourself?
I have more of a question. My name is George. I'm from Unique Marine on the Florida Keys. What about alternative lifestyle women, and or men for that matter? Yes.
His question was, gay and lesbian marketing? Absolutely huge. I would encourage absolutely anybody to feature all kinds of families and showing all kinds of family fun on boats. But if you've got a, let's say, high potential gay and lesbian target market, like let's say you live in a part of town where there is, high density gay and lesbian couples in that area, that is also fertile ground. Because the facts are gay and lesbian couples have more disposable income than straight couples, typically because they have fewer children or no children. That means a lot of disposable income. And where that income gets spent is on the home and on entertainment and on such experiences. So if you are not doing any gay and lesbian marketing, I would say, and there's a market for you, I would say that is an opportunity missed. And what you want to do is, again, show positive imagery of lesbian couples, gay couples enjoying boating with their friends. Another thing that you can do that is something that's very subtle, that if you are marketing to all people and you're showing just, family and friends having fun on boats, is that you can put in, like, proud supporter of the community. Like in the same place that you would put your 800 number, your phone number, your web address, your Facebook icons, and all those other ways that people can contact you, just put in proud supporter of the community. If, in fact, you do support the gay and lesbian community, I'm assuming that if you're going to do gay and lesbian marketing, you're a supporter of the gay and lesbian community. You're not anti. So if you're a proud supporter of the community means the gay and lesbian community. And you don't have to spell it out any more than that. And frankly, a lot of your straight customers, that would go right over their heads. But your gay and lesbian customers will totally tune in on that. Is there anybody who is doing successful gay and lesbian marketing that can share an insight or an experience that they've had in doing this that has yielded results? Nobody? What's that? You don't market to them? You sure should. Yeah. So, where did that mic go? Here we go. Here we go. Can you say that again? You're saying
we don't openly market to them, but we sure at our dealership do sell to them. Just treat them like normal people, and they actually buy.
Well, right, but if you have a growing or a large gay and lesbian community, you can do more targeted marketing than that. I mean, you're right. You treat them like anybody else because they are like anybody else when they're in your showroom and all that stuff. But if you're talking about doing targeted marketing to the gay and lesbian community, you can absolutely do that through publications and direct mail and things like that. And that will yield results too, because or in most markets have a gay and lesbian phone directory. It may be an online virtual phone directory instead of an old Yellow Pages. I mean, but what that shows is gay-friendly businesses. So that's an opportunity.
My name's Deanne Toby, and we're with Kentucky Yacht Sales. So we're in the Deep South, the Bible Belt. So you do have to be very careful when you market that group, but we do sell to a lot of people that are in the gay and lesbian community, but you can also offend some of your customers you already have. So there is a balance. So you just need to know your market and be very careful with that.
Going to do anything that is going to hurt your business, but I think what he was talking about is that there's an opportunity, perhaps some low-hanging fruit in your area, low-hanging fruit in the community, and I would say that was good. Pick the fruit, right? I mean, no, but I mean, you're smart. You're pay attention to the community around you and the community that you serve. Now, you're getting Chris, right? No, Chris. Yeah, okay, here.
They are your best advocates because as far as telling their friends,
absolutely,
word of mouth with them is the best advertising that you have.
Absolutely. And in almost any community, people share information openly with their friends and their social networks. But with women and with gay and lesbian communities, you will absolutely find that to be even more prevalent, more the case. All right. Chris had a question that I thought was an excellent question, and I realize we're getting off topic here, but I just want to be respectful of your time and answer his question as well. He said, Kelly, you mentioned that with women, you give women expansive options, right? Here's all the different things. But with guys, give it to 3, right? Narrow it to 3. He's like, what do we do when a couple comes in that's a man and a woman, and he wants 3, but the woman wants all the information? Anybody have a point? I have a point of view on this, but does anybody have a point of view on this? Yeah. Give it to her? Sure. Give her all the information. Split them up. Okay, that's interesting. Hang on. Talk about splitting them up. What do you mean by splitting them up?
Give him a handful of features to look at, just a couple things, put him on the boat, and while he's down looking at the more nuts and bolts stuff, you start talking to her and giving her mountains of information.
Okay.
Then as she starts to look at some of the features of the boat, looking at the things that you've told her, then you can start talking to him some more. Talk to him separately, not as a couple.
Talk to him separately, not as a couple. Do you agree with that? Does anybody agree or disagree? Share your experience. Just if you say who you are.
I'm Mary Jo with Blue Springs Marine. Absolutely. Split them up. If you have to, use 2 salespeople. I take the woman, the guy takes the guy. They hit those points. So if we have to team sell it, we do.
Does that work?
It does.
Okay.
Otherwise,
does the couple feel weird about being split up?
No.
Does it feel sexist to be like, Mister, come over here with me, and then come over here?
No. Typically, I just try to. If she's got a ton of questions, and she usually does,
and he's like losing it.
Yes. Is I try to get him to sit in the captain's chair and point out a couple of buttons, a couple of technology things to keep him occupied.
Gadgets.
Because she needs time to process.
She needs time to process. That's
she
right.
absolutely needs time to
and
process.
then you can just be like, let me show you a few things. Let me tell you about a few things, and it'll start a robust conversation, right?
Correct.
Okay,
We had another
One thing that we do real quick while you're here, we offer a Women on the Water event.
Women on the Water.
Where we actually take ladies, and this is typically it's the women of new boat owners. So they're brand new people, have just bought a boat. They did their orientation when they got their boat, but this is just for the ladies. Take them out for the day. We start and break them up into groups based on what type of boat they have, pontoon versus stern drive or something.
Right.
And we spend time with them in the parking lot, teaching them to trailer a boat, build their confidence.
Yep.
It's not difficult, and there's a simple little trick to teach women. So I hope you're listening, guys. Tell them to put their hand at the bottom of the steering wheel and turn the direction they want it to go. Women can't comprehend the hand at the top of the steering wheel. It's too difficult. Tell them to put their hand at the bottom.
That's a great
Well, some
tip.
guys can't either, but we provide lunch for them while they're out there. Giveaways, because women love giveaways, so
do.
get your manufacturers to give you some T-shirts or something to
love
give
snacks.
away, and feed them
We do.
lunch
We love
because we
snacks.
love food, and have a great afternoon on the water, and let them bring friends. Invite them to bring friends.
I love the Women on the Water title. Did you have something to add too? And then I see you.
Just when you separate them as
a couple?
As a woman at a boat show.
Oh,
a
okay.
woman salesperson.
Okay.
Just because a woman wants to talk to me, you can't assume that she only wants to talk about the decor or the fabric.
No,
or,
absolutely.
Because
all kinds of things.
More and more, they're the ones with a captain's license that I see, and
They're the ones
when
with the
they're-
captain's license.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or there's like 2 kind of categories. Or we have pod boats with a joystick. Initially, they're intimidated after they try it one time. They'll dock the boat every time, and he's out getting the lines. So they're not, and I only say that not because anybody in here does it, but I have seen people just make the assumption, the car salesman thing,
Right.
where you want to show her the mirror and you want to show him the engine.
Right.
Be very careful.
Be very
and
careful of
listen.
those stereotypes.
Women want to see the mirror, but listen to her questions.
Right. Excellent. Okay. Let's just here. Thank you. Great comments. Yep.
Yeah, great comments, everybody. And I agree, and I've used, splitting up the couple, showing them different techniques about the boat, but don't lose fact of the safety and experience issue with a woman. And if you are
safety's huge.
Yeah, if you're talking to both of them at the same time, if he's not paying attention to the experience and the safety, he's in trouble with her.
Right.
So he'll definitely pay attention to those items as well.
Thank you very much. Chris, the other thing I was going to say is I think your colleagues here have some excellent sales technique suggestions about splitting them up, and I actually hadn't thought about that because obviously it requires more than one salesperson, et cetera. But the other thing I was going to say is not to be sexist, but, happy wife, happy life, right? So sell her. If you can sell her, you're likely to be able to sell him. But if I could only do one thing, I would give a lot of information. And again, he might drift off. He might be, like checking out of that conversation a little bit. But she will go home and do a lot of the selling for you. If they are saying, well, let us think about it, they're going to go home and she's going to be like, well, no, they explained it and they said this and this and this. And I mean, she's going to have it all, right? Because and she's going to talk to him about it in a way that persuades him. So if you could only do one of those 2 things, then don't shortchange her. Don't give her the 3 things just to keep him happy. Give her all the information she needs. She'll filter out what he doesn't want to hear about, and she'll figure out how to sell her husband. Because if you can get her on board, they're going to buy that boat. You know, they make a joke in this industry and the marketing industry about how women make 85% of the purchasing decisions. That's not true. We make 100% of the purchasing decisions, right? No, it really is. I mean, it's like, how many of you guys who are in a significant relationship with a woman, whether you are dating or whether you are married, how many of you are going to buy something she doesn't want you to buy? It's not worth it. It's just not worth it, right? Most guys are like, I'm not fighting that battle, man, you know? So 99% of the time, if she's on board, you're good. You're good. If she's not on board, it's an uphill battle, right? What's that?
I do the "Would you be mad" call.
Yeah, and I mean, if you start a session with a question with "Would you be mad?" the answer is going to be yes. All right. So, is there anybody else who learned 2 things that they want to go back and do on Monday morning? Or are we done here? You guys are done. Okay. You've been great. Final thoughts? Women are your ideal customers. Do you guys know this, or you wouldn't have allocated an hour and a half to this session this afternoon? They will champion the brands, the companies, and the experiences they like. They trust the recommendations from their friends and also people in their social media networks. They freely share their opinions and their endorsements, and they're loyal to those who put the welcome mat out for them. I don't know what your definition of an ideal customer is, but this would be mine, right? Hitting on all of these checkpoints. Then women deliver that. So, lastly, shameless self-promotion. I have a book, as Jonathan mentioned. It's called Crafting the Customer Experience for People Not Like You. This book is awesome. No, it was number 5 on the list of the best-selling business books for last year. It's 170 pages with pictures, all right, because you guys are busy people. If you want a copy of this book, it's $20. Come see me afterwards. If you have a best-selling book signed by a best-selling author, then you know that sucker is worth $1 million on eBay when you go to resell it, right? So thank you very much. You have been a great audience. I'm around all afternoon, all evening. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks.